there's always this delay from when I go live uh, to to actually going live on YouTube. Hang on, let me mute this. Sorry, my voice is weird today. Oh, I see some people are already here. I already see some comments. How are you? Hello. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. Roberto. Hi, Roberto. Roberto donated to my fundraiser. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's get the formalities out of the way. Please like, please share, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. This channel is taking a little bit of a directional shift. I originally started as an activist, political activist. That ended me in hot water. I am currently being sued. And as such, and as well during COVID, I woke up spiritually. So, some people are angry because that's what people do. They get angry at me and at the channel directional shift, and that's fine. Um, but then I would like to switch it a little bit to more of a light-hearted channel. We can still discuss politics and all, but I'm so done with the negativity of politics and with the gloom and doom. So yeah, there is a fundraiser pinned at the top of the chat. The fundraiser is also in the description. It is for my legal fees. I would truly appreciate you sharing, and liking. And if you want to donate, I am grateful to you. I'm going to give a shout out to Kevin. KFH, there he is. Hi, Kevin. Kevin, you deserve every shout out in the world. Kevin has been extremely supportive of everything. Everything. He's donated to my fundraiser. I'm grateful to you, Kevin. He's also in my Patreon. For those of you who do not know, I do have a spiritual channel called the Arabian Oracle, and there is a Patreon associated. Hello, Roberto. Ah, yes, 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 exactly. So yes, there is also a Patreon associated with my spiritual channel in which I'm focusing on a lot of healing. Um, Part of what happened to me during COVID and the little disappearing act that I performed on everyone here for like 2 years was that I gained consciousness during COVID because of the face mask mandates. Well, because of the mandates and the lockdowns and the horror, the horror show that we went through. And I have a very, very strong history of trauma from living under radical Islam. So that reactivated my trauma, and it eventually caused me a spiritual enlightenment, awakening. I'm still in the process of gaining consciousness. It's an endless process of leveling up where you gain different perspectives, whatever you want to call them, perspectives, dimensions, realms, leveling up. I don't know what you call it, but it's a constant. It's a constant thing. It's sort of like a pendulum. You go back a little bit to who you were before. You default on your old patterns, and then you swing and you gain more consciousness, and then you go back a little bit, and then you swing and you gain more consciousness. For me personally, the gain in consciousness aspect, especially when I level up, when I'm going through a level up, I end up getting sick, physically sick, and it usually manifests as some sort of flu. In the spiritual world, I guess they call it a spiritual flu. But if you constantly find me struggling, now I don't have the best immune system, and I did get COVID. I think 2 months ago I got COVID, and it's been difficult to recover. I'm not gonna kid you. Yeah, yeah, those swings, exactly, KFH. I know you are going through them too, honey. I know. And I hope my Patreon is helping. I do try to post weekly in my Patreon. Don't get upset if a week goes by and I don't post. I'm probably going through my own swings. But yes, yes, there's a fundraiser. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share, share, share my fundraiser. And I wanted to talk to you about what big lessons. I wanted to see what everyone in here thought. What big lessons did you learn in 2022? Or it doesn't even have to be 2022, the past few years. Everything that happened to us. What lessons did you learn? Now, I have a bunch of stuff that I learned and I'd like to discuss with you because I'm wondering if anybody feels the same. One of the things I ended up learning, and I learned this the hard way because I don't really have anyone guiding me here. Not that many of us have guidance, but some people like have a bigger circle, you know, than others. But for me, was the big lesson was that letting go had to view an Islamic donation. I know. I listen. Tell me about it. You know, it's so stupid, but whatever. Don't if you want to donate to me. My fundraiser is right there. Go donate. There's lots of material to check out on your Patreon. Thank you, KFH. I'm glad, honey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you're more than welcome. I keep saying this to people. If you have any ideas or suggestions, or if you are in need of something, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I am connected. I am connected to the higher realms. I do get downloads, and I'm sure you do as well. But it's always nice. When I was waking up, I signed up to. I didn't want to go to yoga. I didn't want to. I didn't want this commercial garbage that's out there right now. The spiritual community is toxic. The mainstream spiritual community is extremely toxic and cliquey and judgmental, I find. So I just went to an independent, very young woman in Australia. She just appeared in front of me in YouTube, and I watched a few of her tarot readings, and I really resonated. She would. I don't know. The woman is incredible. This woman is so intuitive, and yeah, I just signed up to her Patreon, and her Patreon was ridiculous. It was like $150 a month, but I signed up because I wanted to learn. And when I was done learning, I left and I thanked her, and I was extremely grateful to her, and I remain grateful, and I remain subscribed to her YouTube channel. But she's a very young, lovely woman who's Aboriginal, or she's got Aboriginal heritage in her in Australia. But yeah, that's how I sort of gained my first baby steps with spirituality. But I just wanted to talk about a few things that I want to say are themes, I guess, if you want to call it that way. They're themes of things that I've witnessed people learn, the collective, if you may, without too much generalizing. Uh, People learn the past few years, and one of those big things was letting things go. Um, Letting things go regardless how attached you think you might be to those things or to those people, including marriages, including homes, including jobs, including, I mean, there is a big section of society that lost its career over the mandates because they stood their ground. Now they've been vilified, but they should not be vilified because they accepted. They accepted the situation, and they let go of something that ultimately is not working for them. You can judge a person. That's your own opinion, John Smith. Thank you for respecting mine. Thank you for respecting me and my channel and how I communicate with Spirit, John Smith. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate being respected, just like I respect you. Yeah, let's not pass judgment on each other, especially if you have no knowledge about a specific topic or a specific thing. Okay? Let's not vilify someone because they do something that you don't like. Let's not pass judgment on someone because they practice something you don't understand or that you carry a judgment towards. Let's not do that. And if you wish to do that, you're welcome to do it, just not here. So, one of the things, yeah, so that's been a theme, which is letting go of different things in order to allow better things to come into your life and into your experience that might, thank you, cogito ergo sum. Exactly. If you respect me, I respect you, and who is anybody to pass judgment on anybody? Oh dear. Listen, I'm not here to fight. Hide. Hide. I'm not here to fight. If you guys want to fight, go fight somewhere else. What is this? Why is everyone so angry? Don't project your anger and your judgment on others. I'm trying to do a positive live stream here. Wow, it's incredible to me. It's funny because before I came on here talking about judgment and toxicity and hatred that is projected, I every now and then I pop into Reddit. And holy moly, you want to see judgment? You want to see projection and toxicity? Uh, like, I'm not guiding you to go look at it, but the Ontario politics subreddit, incredible, incredible. The hatred that is being projected right now. Now, mind you, it's not a huge subreddit, but that shocked me to see people project hatred and collectivize. Because I come from this culture where the othering of people, I come from that and I'm very aware of it and I can identify it when I see it. But there was a post on there hating on conservatives, hating on lumping them all together. Oh, thank you, KFH. We're trying to figure things out as life goes on. Exactly. I agree with you, KFH. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And if you're not going to help, if you're not, if you don't want to figure things out together and we'd rather pass judgment on each other, I don't know what to tell you. This space is not for you. I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody, but I'll be damned if I allow someone to pull me down or dim my light. And actually, that's one of the things I I have listed as one of the lessons that I noticed many people have come out of the past 3 years, or I guess 2022, with. And that's people's rage, people's projection of rage, of judgment. It's somebody projecting something that's broken inside of them, and you're simply shining a light on it. When you come to me and tell me, and I've seen these comments a lot, by the way, it doesn't bother me as much anymore. Clearly, people here have, there's a thing with tarot reading. I've seen specifically tarot and oracle reading. People call it witchcraft, and it's funny when somebody called it witchcraft. I thought, well, I guess burning witches is good, eh? The Salem witch hunts were a good thing. Talk about judging, you know. But when somebody projects judgment onto you or something that you're doing, it actually has nothing to do with you. It's something inside of them, a trigger, and you basically shined a light on that trigger, but they don't want to deal. They don't want to deal with it. So what they do is they end up pushing it back on you in the form of reactivity. I grew up like in a society and in a family where my light was constantly being dimmed And I was constantly being pulled down and shunned and shamed. I know this. I know it, and I don't know what to tell you. I know it when I see it. So I'm sorry, John Smith. If you're upset, my dear, you don't have to be here. Go have fun somewhere else, honey, in another channel that doesn't do tarot. You know. But I'm definitely not going to stop doing tarot. It's not going to happen. So yeah, so that's one of the lessons that I find a lot of us have learned over the past 3 years. When someone dumps on you in real life or online, it's probably something that they have an issue with, something inside of them that needs healing. Has absolutely nothing to do with you. We love you. Who cares about the haters? Thank you, honey. Thank you. But again, like, oh yes, I was talking about that subreddit. They were lumping conservatives with MAGA supporters, with the people who refused to get vaccinated. It was all a bunch of labels: MAGA, conservatives, anti-vaxxers, WEF conspiracy theorists, and COVID deniers and anti-maskers. They lumped them all together in like one sort of post, and the amount of hatred that was being projected was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Thankfully, it wasn't a huge subreddit, but it was very interesting. Very interesting to see that. Very interesting to see that. All right, what else? Let's not divert too much. What are you guys saying? KFH, the movies I only drink water and the occasional beer. Okay, so we talked about two things that we have come out of 2022 learning. And this is just from my own observation. And you guys are welcome to comment, and I'll try to pay attention to the comments as well, especially if it's a lesson or if something that you feel you've learned or come out of the past 3 years with. The other big thing, I guess, is seeking fulfillment outside of yourself, but never actually finding that you are getting fulfilled. For a lot of people, this appeared in relationships. The people around me, before the lockdowns and before all of that, I knew a lot of people who would jump from one relationship to the next, from one relationship. The relationships were chaotic. They wouldn't last long. And I'm not going to tell you that I didn't engage in this behavior as well, where I was constantly seeking acceptance, if you may, maybe even love, validation outside of myself, be it in relationships with, a significant other, being with communities that just were not working for me, be it with other, friendships that were dysfunctional, because you were constantly trying to seek that acceptance from the outside world, or a job, or an environment, or an association, or a group of people who just, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. And you would go from one group to the next, from one relationship to the next. And it just would, you would never truly feel fulfilled. You might, if it was a relationship, you would feel happy for a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months, and then you'd go back to the same rut, feeling the same, stuckness, the same patterns emerging. This also a lot of stuff falls into this, and that includes things like sex, love, um, relationships that are highly dependent, as well as addictions. I personally gave up 2 years ago. I stopped drinking alcohol completely. And then last Christmas, I completely gave up weed. I used to use weed because I struggled with chronic pain. And once I realized that weed was just not, it was just not, it was just something. I convinced myself that weed was helping me. And I stopped it. I weeded myself off the weed. So alcohol and weeds gone. Toxic relationships gone. Seeking validation outside of my own self gone. And what I ended up doing is healing that wound inside of me. That wound comes from growing up in a household with narcissists, growing up with people who constantly put you down, just because they feel shitty about themselves, so they have to pull you down. I guess there's a theory in psychology, is it? It's like the crab theory. A bunch of crabs are in a bucket being boiled to death, and one crab finds its way outside, and what the other crabs end up doing is they pull that one crab down. Rather than seeing one of their own succeed and escape, they end up pulling that crab down and dragging it down. Yeah, so that's another big lesson, I guess, that I noticed. Generally speaking, a lot of people um, are kind of, a lot of people figured it out. A lot of people are figuring this stuff out. We love to hear that you struggled and won. It's not just me, honey. It's this. I don't do these live streams just to come on here and toot my own horn. I truly am trying to build a community, a positive community, a non-judgmental community. If we differ in opinion, then we differ in opinion. There's no need to. That passing of judgment really has to stop. It really must stop. I keep, and I think I said it before, we're not here on this earth to judge each other. We're just not. We're not. Um, who was it? There was a prominent professor of psychology in the 60s, Ram Dass, I think his name, Ram Dass. He spiritually awakened at some point, and he quit. He quit his this was like a professor in university and like science and whatnot. He left everything and went on a tour in India, and he wrote a magnificent book called Be Here Now. You should look it up. Hello, KFH. Oh my god, I forgot my glasses. Both hard habits to break, drinking and weed. My biggest struggle this year. Oh, KFH, I'm going to do a healing session for you. I'm going to do a healing session for you to help you, honey. I don't know when exactly. Maybe I'll try to do it over the holidays. So try to stay with me in my Patreon. If you don't want to remain in the $50 tier, you can go down to the $25 tier. I usually put healing sessions in a lot of those too. But that's very good that you said that, because I will try to do more healing sessions focused on addictions. Addictions in general. It doesn't matter addictions to what. You could be addicted to social media, right? For me, the biggest struggle right now is to get off Twitter. It really is a big struggle because I am doing this fundraiser and I would like to see it hit its target, and I would like to find another platform that is more accepting of spiritual folk than Twitter. I find Twitter just a shit show. Twitter is just shit show. But yeah, lots of people passing judgment on everyone on Twitter. And once we realize, I keep saying this, we're not here to judge each other. We are here to walk together, and that's what this Dam Ross, I forget he changed his name after he gained consciousness to Dam Ross, which interestingly enough means the servant of God. Yeah. He went from being a psychologist and a professor to a servant of God. He said we're here to walk each other home. We are here on this planet to walk each other home. So, judgment is a big thing for me. Passing judgment on me or or passing judgment on anyone is not something that I tolerate very well, especially if it's like it has a toxic element in it. If there's toxicity being passed, if you're trying to pull people down, I really struggle with that. Now I've learned to stay in my own lane. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, yeah. Respect is huge for me. I see things online 24/7 that I don't agree with on my timeline, on YouTube, on. I follow YouTubers that 50% of the stuff they say I don't agree with, but I enjoy their channels. I'm usually very quiet. Who am I to judge? I enjoy their creation. I enjoy their channel. Thank you for being here on YouTube. Thank you for putting yourself out there. I'm learning from you. Even the things that I don't agree with, I still listen to because I'd like to still pick up something. But that's me. I always like to learn. I've always been a learner. I don't like, really don't like passing judgment on others. So, what else? Reserving your energy. That was a big theme over the past 3 years because I used to come on my One Godless Daily channel and scream and cry and bleed my energy on people. And in the end, it was useless. I basically wasted my energy everywhere and on everyone. So what I ended up doing is I preserve my energy, and that also comes to it brings to mind, like, if you see something you disagree with, not necessarily something horrendous or a, like a crime being committed, but just as something you disagree with, reserve that energy. Reserve it. You don't need to go spilling your energy online, uh, or everywhere on people and picking fights. This is your own vibration, it's your own frequency. Harbor it, savor it. You can use it. Why bleed it everywhere like this? And when you begin to harbor your energy and respect it and preserve it and appreciate it and learn that the most important thing in this world is your own frequency, is your energy, you know what happens? You end up becoming a magnet to people and a magnet to amazing and incredible things that you want. I never joined Twitter. Too many twits. Well, it's an interesting platform. I'll tell you that. Twitter is an interesting platform, and Twitter is probably where I began to wake up spiritually, because I used to judge Trump and I used to not like Trump, until I reached a point where I'm like, something is weird here about Trump. It's just the messaging wasn't resonating with me anymore. So I ended up following Trump, and I followed him on Twitter, and I woke up. So yeah. What else? So yeah, reserving your energy and understanding that you don't need to bleed your energy. You don't need to shout at everything that you don't like. And rather than getting triggered, especially online, because it's so easy to get triggered online, rather than getting triggered online, work with yourself. This thing triggered me. Why did it trigger me? Go in within yourself and work on that trigger. So that's another theme that I noticed this year. A lot of people, there's less toxicity online. A lot of people have, a lot of people are quiet now, which makes me think that they are going more within. At least I hope that they are going more within, rather than getting triggered online and bleeding their energy and shouting and yelling. So that's another thing that I personally learned, and again continue to learn. The other thing is that we are learning that we are sovereign beings who essentially grew up in a system, whether you believe it or not, whether you see it or not, of a system of in enslavement. Be it, I see it more as economic enslavement. You're economically owned because we seek abundance outside of our own selves. Everyone goes to school because you have to go to school. Telegram. Well, I might have to. I might have to go into Telegram and look. I don't really know how to use Telegram. I know it's channel based and all of that, but maybe. Thank you. Thank you for suggesting that. I do appreciate that suggestion. I do appreciate you. I appreciate your presence and I appreciate your energy, Roger. So, yeah, the other lesson is we are sovereign beings. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, you are a sovereign being. And there is a choice to be made. It's not easy. You, oh, KFH! KFH! You're so kind and generous. Thank you, honey. My goodness. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the super chat, honey. I love Telegram. It's got a steep learning curve. It wasn't user friendly. Well, maybe it's time for me to learn how to use Telegram. Maybe it's time for me to learn how to do that because Twitter, I feel like I've reached the end of my not the end of my rope. I can stay on Twitter, but it's just not serving me. And oh, not letting other people's negative energy manifest in myself is my biggest learning lesson this year. I understand what you mean, KFH. You're probably an empath, honey. You're probably an empath like myself. When somebody projects negativity at me, part of me absorbs it. And I'm still working on that. And I believe the fact that you are in my Patreon tells me that you are like that as well. People who project their judgment onto you, people who project their negativity onto you, we take it on. And that's probably another video for me to do right there. How to not take on other people's energy, or to recognize when you have taken on other people's energy. The reason I reject judgment, especially when I'm doing a live and someone is trying to shit on me and crap on me and tell me that I'm a witch and that I'm doing tarot and it's evil and demonic, that's pure negativity and pure negative energy. I know that I'm an empath, and I know that unconsciously or subconsciously I absorb that energy, and then it sticks. And then it's really, really hard for me to get rid of it, which is when spiritual practices, if you have spiritual hygiene, things that you do every day, come in very, very handy. For me, lighting incense at least 3 times a day, and going, like, allowing it to go through me. I also wear my beads. It doesn't matter what people think these are, if they laugh at them. I look after these things like I look after myself. I charge them once a week and I clear them daily. I run these through incense. That is a spiritual practice. Going out on meditative walks or going out with nature, connecting with nature however way you wish. For me, it tends to be related to the sun. The more sun exposure I get, the more negativity I let go of. And then you have healing frequencies, which I do a lot of on my Patreon, as you know, Kevin. I hope you're enjoying them. I am going to be getting a tank drum or I forget what they call it. I think it's a tank drum. And that is amazing. It has a lot of healing frequencies. And it's extremely, like, I connect with healing frequencies so well. The other thing for me is meditating with tarot or meditating with the oracles. That is an excellent spiritual hygiene practice that I try not like. It's hard for me to engage with it daily because I channel. When I begin doing tarot or oracles, I the universe connects with me and I channel, and I find that very energetically not depleting, but it requires a lot of energy, focus, and I'm not always up to par to do that. So I do my oracles maybe one or meditate with tarot and oracles once every 2 to 3 days, and I usually get amazing relief, and a lot of negative energy comes out. And you can pick and choose which oracle decks or which tarot decks you want. Sorry, what? Is there incense that smells like weed? I believe there is. If you go on Amazon Prime and you look up incense, there is weed incense. I think the brand name is Hem. Look that up, Kevin, my dear. Or message me on Patreon, honey. I'll send you a link. But there is an weed incense, yeah. Um, but again, it's probably a good transition for you to get off weed and move on to something that smells like weed, like the incense of weed. Burning, the act of burning incense is very therapeutic for me. It's very grounding. The fire, the rocks. I have an entire set of charcoal, and like I walk 7 times back and forth. This is from my own culture as well. Burning incense. It's called bukhur, or oud, where I come from, and it's not looked at as witchiness. These are also native practices. So yeah, when you call stuff like this witchcraft and whatnot, you're insulting an entire segment of the population. Not, I mean, you're not insulting, but you're projecting onto an entire segment of population who have more heritage probably than you. So I keep saying, keep an open mind. Go buy an oracle deck that you connect with. I'm not saying go buy evil demonic oracles or, black magic tarot. There's plenty to pick and choose from. I usually use things like angel messages from angels, or how to connect with your angels, chakra healing. Alana Fairchild, I love her work. Her work is connected to Christianity. It's connected to shamanism. It is connected to ancient gods and goddesses like Kuan Yin. These are all extremely, extremely positive meditative practices that you can engage in, that you can learn from, and you can shed a lot of that negative energy. So, yeah, no, no, no. I love bonfires. Well, then you go. There you go, my dear. Take yourself once a week somewhere where you can do a bonfire, and do it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a group of people. Do it on yourself. Get a little fire pit, you know? That was, I used to light a fire daily. When I initially spiritually woke up, I got a very small container with charcoal so that my neighbors don't complain, because I'm in an apartment complex, and if I do a fire pit, God knows what's going to happen. The police is going to come show up to my doorstep along with the fire station. So I just bought a really, really small incense burner that can contain a small fire. And I would burn incense. Not only would burn incense, I would burn negative thoughts. I would write negative patterns out, negative thoughts out, and I'd burn them. Things my parents would say to me to bring me down. These are all things and patterns that we grow up with unknowingly, subconsciously. This is called energy that doesn't belong to you. Energy that we have allowed to latch onto us, and we continued on living our lives, continuing on thinking that this energy belongs to us. Burned it all. And for me, that worked. I let go. You let it go. So yeah, sorry, I'm not really paying attention to the chat, but thank you, Kevin, honey. You're bringing up some excellent, excellent comments, and I really do appreciate it. All right. What other things? Yeah. Yes, not being a victim of your thoughts. That's another thing. Um, I actually just bought a book, Getting Rid of Negative Thoughts. Kevin, I might share that with you as well in Patreon, but let me go through the book first to see if it actually helps before I start sharing it. But over the past 2 days, there has been sort of an attack of negative thoughts. I believe in the collective, not just with me. Don't be a victim. I always compare thoughts to gremlins. Don't engage, don't go playing with the gremlins, right? Don't be a victim to your thoughts. You can control your thoughts. Don't engage with them, don't play with them, because the more I think I did a video in my Arabian Oracle channel about sticky thoughts. I think you have 7 seconds. There's a period of 7 seconds where a negative thought appears and you choose to engage with it. And after 7 seconds, another thought gets pulled in that's also negative. And after 7 seconds, another thought. And then before you know it, you're going to have a bunch of negative thoughts. So within those 7 seconds, you have an opportunity to break that pattern. However way you choose. However way you choose. But as long as awareness is there, okay, there is a negative thought right now. I can choose to engage in it or I can choose to walk away from it. One of the ways that I've seen people talk about, and it's difficult, it's not easy, it is to transcend that thought. And again, I spoke about this in my own Patreon. So as soon as a negative thought appears, shift, shift your perspective. Shift your perspective on that thought. One of the ways is to envision something beautiful. Remember something amazing. A kiss that you had, a touch that you shared with someone, and just daydream. Start daydreaming. Transcend the thought by daydreaming. And Eckhart Tolle does talk about that, by the way. So yeah, don't be a victim to your thoughts. You can control them. You can alter them. Spirituality is about leveling up, and when you level up, each time you gain a different perspective. And that definitely helps with negativity and negative thoughts. Yeah. So there's multiple ways, or like I said, Kevin, write it down, my dear. Write it down on a piece of paper and bury it, burn it, do whatever you want with it. Rid yourself of these negative thoughts and negative energies. But I get the sense that you're an empath, Kevin. And like I said, you need to realize that empaths take on energies that do not belong to us. They do not belong to us. So one of the things that I would do, especially if I'm engaging in channeling or anything, like with someone, because I do read energy for people and I do tarot readings as well, is I usually go and I say, I release all the energy that does not belong to me. Oh, Roger! Roger, look at you, honey. Thank you, Roger. You see, I remember your name now. Are you proud of me? Thank you, honey. Best wishes to you as well. Merry Christmas. I don't know if you celebrate Christmas or something else. I love Christmas, so I love to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, Roger. And I hope you stick around, and I hope to see you more in my channel. And maybe you can sign up to my Patreon, Roger, and I can have a little one-on-one session with you. Thank you, Roger, honey. Grateful to you, sweetie. Thank you. Yeah. All right. What else? What else? Don't be a victim to Brandon. So, what will you do for the holidays? Nothing. Nothing. I'm gonna meditate and work on my platforms. I'd like my Patreon to grow. I would love to have a community. I'm waiting to have about 20 subscribers in my Patreon. KFH! Kevin! 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 Thank you, Kevin. My red pill moment was the night Trump got elected. I knew something was up. I think that was a red pill moment for a lot of us, Kevin. Oh dear. I think it was a red pill moment for many people. But again, the shock and the reactivity, people rejected that wake up call. Every everything that triggers you is an opportunity to wake up. Everything that makes you angry and judgmental and pass judgment onto another and call them a name online or in real life and hate them is an opportunity to heal a wound. I just wish people would know this. I wish people would know this, you know? Yeah, yeah. So I'm waiting to build a community of maybe 20 plus people in my Patreon so I can start doing live sessions rather than doing. I'll continue doing my lives here. Don't get me wrong. I love engaging out here, and I'm very, appreciative of everyone here. But to engage in my Patreon will be more concentrated effort, and I'd like to do lives there. So my magic number for my Patreon is 20 subscribers. Once I reach 20 subscribers, that's when I'll start doing live sessions. Yeah, can't wait for that. Very excited for that. All right, so we learned that we're sovereign beings. Reserve your energy. Don't bleed your energy on people. Just don't. You deserve your own energy. Okay, and that includes the person that came on here and started crapping all over tarot, John Smith. Reserve your energy, my dear. Don't waste your energy on me. You just wasted your energy on me. You didn't change my mind. You called me names. You accused me of being toxic spirituality and whatnot. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. So reserve your energy and work within yourself. Heal whatever this is that's making people hate and project on people who read tarot. Good Lord. I was trying to do, I went on like a mainstream website for tarot, and the level of hatred I saw from people calling tarot readers everything under the sun. I don't even understand what that is. I don't think I want to understand what that is, but there's a problem there. There's a problem there in society. I didn't grow up in the West. I don't know what tarot readers have done here in the West. I just learned my own ways with tarot. I use tarot to meditate. But there's a significant level of hatred towards people who read tarot. And I have no interest in even touching that. I have no interest in that. I completely stay away from all of that. If you don't want to read tarot, don't watch my tarot videos. But I'm not going to stop. It's how I connect with the universe. I get amazing downloads. One of the first downloads that I ever got, and it was I'm audio. What do you call it? Not clairvoyant. Clear audience. I fall under the category of clear audience. One of the first downloads I received was when I was doing an oracle reading, and it was the number 333. Kevin, 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 you know that 333. So yeah, no, I will never stop with tarot and oracles. No, 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 no. The benefit that I get from it is way too much for me to stop because somebody hates it. I'm sorry. All right, overcoming fears. Yes, yes, overcoming fears. I wanted to talk about that. Roger, we are old friends. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Roger, honey. Yes, we are old friends. And I appreciate you, Roger. And I appreciate Brandon. And I appreciate Kugito. I appreciate everyone. Thank you, everyone. But fears. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. I escaped Saudi Arabia to Canada because of the face coverings. That was a big thing. And I escaped radical Islam and authoritarianism and radicalism in general, only to find myself back in the same position. Running away from your fears is one thing that I've learned over the past 3 years. Um, I escaped an entire country, I escaped a society, and I escaped a religion that forced me to cover my face and that was extremely judgmental and authoritarian and wanted to punish me for just being me. And here I am in the West, in Canada. Oh, Kevin, thank you. You guys, I've learned that being empathic is a gift, even if it's difficult dealing with sometimes. 100%, it's a gift. It's a gift, and something that you need to hone and be proud of and learn how to walk on this earth, on this planet, in the middle of a storm without allowing it to touch you. Because you are a healer, Kevin. Most empaths, I guess they call us star seeds, light workers, light warriors, depending, on the lingo that you like or prefer. But these are the spiritual terms for empaths. Me personally, I'm a Hayoka empath. I don't know who said that to me one time during a live stream. And I've come to realize that that is exactly who I am. I say the truth, and it's very blunt, and it's very in your face, and it angers people. I lose friendships because I can't lie. I'm incapable of lies. Incapable. I've lost loved ones because I say the truth, and people can't handle it. That's a Hayoka empath, and we heal. We emit so much light that we need to stand in the dark. Think of yourself as a lighthouse, Kevin. A lighthouse, for the most part, stands alone, and it stands in the dark, and a lot of times there's a big storm around it. But the lighthouse continues to shine its light. So, yeah, fears. Don't run away from your fears. You're eventually going to have to face them. For me, it was the masks, the face of forced covering of my face. As much as I hate it, I remain in a society that, yeah, I remain in a society that is 80 to 90% masked. And I've learned to live with it now. I've learned to accept that. And I've learned to not pass judgment on people who cover their face. I don't like it. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm not going to go to war with every single person who's wearing a mask. I can't. It falls under preserving your energy. But yes, I can see why many would be put off by it, though. I love that in a person, though, as humans are supposed to be truthful now. You're supposed to be truthful. My problem, a lot of people have said this to me, including my previous YouTube peeps manager, who completely, like, I'm gone. They've left me now, and we've parted ways. But I was told that my words cut. Yeah, my words hurt. I know this about myself, and I'm trying to tame it. Don't get me wrong. I don't take joy in hurting people. And a lot of the time, my lack of charisma, especially when I see a very strong pattern in front of me, and if that pattern is encroaching on my own space, and that person is completely blind to their pattern, I will come and say something to you. It will happen. And not to put you down, but to wake you up. My intention is to wake you up. But people unfortunately take it as being put down, and they get angry and reactive. So, yeah, reactivity, it's really important to remember whenever you get reactive, whenever you get angry over something, that's a wound. That's a wound inside of you, an inner child wound, knocking inside of you, telling you, let me out, set me free. So rather than projecting your hatred, your anger, go within. Go within, do your internal work, set that inner child wound free. Your inner child needs your attention. So, so running away from fears, which I was excellent at doing. I've been here in one spot for 3 years, facing every single fear you can imagine, and working myself through it. And it's been hell. But yes, 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 yes. Did I overcome all my fears? Not yet. Not yet. But hopefully, it's a step by step process. Um, the other thing is, without insulting anyone or saying anything negative, I really don't mean this negative, but it is the reality that we find ourselves in. And you'll see it from the picture that I chose, the thumbnail that I chose for this video. And that is, the majority of people are sheep. If I don't want to use the word sheep, I realize it's insulting. Let's just say the majority of people are followers. And some of us are not. I was always the black sheep. I was always the black sheep, even in Saudi Arabia, black sheep of the family. If you find yourself to be a black sheep, you are welcome here. And I said that in my channel, in my Arabian Oracle channel. You are welcome here. You are welcome in my Patreon. You are welcome here. The black sheep, this is our time. I'm not going to tell you we are the leaders, but we are different. And you need to embrace that aspect about yourself. You must embrace the fact that you are different, and that we are not followers. The reason we're not followers is because there's a good chance that we are leaders. Thank you, KF8. Thank you, Kevin. I was the black sheep. Well, there you go. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Those are the main points that I wanted to come on here and blurb out at everyone today. Themes. These are the big themes that I've noticed since the past, well, since I spiritually sort of got that knock on the head that woke me up. But yeah, those are the big themes. I wanted to bring them up. They kind of sum up the last 3 years in a nutshell. I hope, like, I didn't come off as, condescending. I really don't mean to be condescending. But you have to understand that people like me we're not set in our ways, but we know our path. I know my path. I know what works for me. I know what doesn't work for me. I just do. And if people are not happy, unsubscribe. I don't know what to tell you. Unsubscribe and go find someone else who fits your thing, fits your way of life. If it's not me, don't try to pull me down. That's all I ask. I have not lost my way. I have not. If anything, I'm quite content. I'm quite content. I communicate with the universe. I'm finding my path. I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to find my soul tribe. Lance! 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 Sorry, honey. Have I been ignoring your messages? Sorry, I'm not seeing everything. That's why I keep telling people, throw super chats at. I'm blind. I'm blind as a bat and I forgot my glasses. Thank you, Lance Johnson, honey. Thank you, handsome. Thank you. And that's the other thing. Somebody came in here. Was it this channel or was it the Arabian Oracle? Was it the Arabian Oracle? I can't remember. They started shaming the male base that I have. They started shaming them. Please don't do that. Please don't. I'm very proud. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And you can take it however way you wish. That's not on me. How you take what I'm going to say. I am extremely proud of my sexuality. Extremely proud of it. I was shamed about. Thank you, Lance Johnson, honey. Peace, love, and happiness from America. Thank you, honey. We're in this together. We're in this together. Roger, got to work on your bedside manner, Dr. Iman. I know. I'm not rude. I'm not rude. I'm just blunt. I need to tame the bluntness. I'm working on it. I understand. Thank you, Roger. I get it, honey. I get it. But it is a characteristic that is interesting. You have to admit, like it's not horrific. But what was I saying? my sexuality is how one of the way I listen. I'm gonna say it. Okay, it's one of the ways I connect with spirit. One of the ways I started connecting with my higher guides is by embracing who I am sexually. Once you understand spirituality, especially the sacral chakra, which is the color that you donated, Lance Johnson, orange. That's the color of the sacral chakra. That's where your Kundalini spiral uh, releases. And that's the origin of creativity. If you think about it, creativity and sexuality are interlinked. They are interlinked. And we are on this planet to create. I don't care what people think. I don't give a crap what people think, how they feel about sexuality, how they shame themselves about sex, how they shame women about sex, how they shame men about sex, how sex is viewed in a negative manner. How the hell did the West reach this point? How? You will never shame me about my sexuality. It will never happen. I'm not on here to flaunt it in your face, but I will not allow anyone to shame me over my sexuality. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, embrace your sexuality. If there is another message for me to bring on out here, embrace your sexuality and understand that it will link you to creation. It does. Spot on, Iman. All right, we got on to sex. We got on to everything today. Got into tarot, got into. What else did we talk about? Spirituality. All right. All right, my lovelies. Oh my God, we've been in here, on here for over an hour. I feel a lot of it comes from pop culture, some from early English. It's very interesting to see the shaming that happens of like I follow a lot of female YouTubers, and they engage in sexuality and they use it, and I enjoy that. I love seeing a woman empowered in her own sexuality. Uh, it's one of the reasons I came to the West. It's one of the reasons I escaped Islam. And I escaped my part of the world where I was covered from head to toe in like a garbage bag. So I'm very, very proud of who I am. I'm not going to flaunt it in everyone's face. But like I said, for me, sexuality is linked with creativity. Multiple ways of creativity, not just creating babies. Multiple ways of creativity. So that's a big message, big theme over the past 3 years. Embrace who you are. Embrace your sexuality, man or woman. I don't care. All right, guys. Any last comments? I'm gonna wrap it up here. I feel like I've been blabbing, blabbing, blabbing. Do you guys enjoy these live streams? Do you want more? Should I do more? Where I talk about sex and porn and all that? Or what do you guys think? So you consider yourself bisexual, right, He-Man? Me? No. No, I'm straight. I like men. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy looking at women. What woman doesn't enjoy looking at another woman? I don't have jealousy towards beautiful women, or like I enjoy watching a beautiful woman. I learn. I'm not jealous of women who are prettier than me. I learn. Okay, she has this, she does that. That works. That looks good. I learn. I'm very open minded when it comes to these things. But I'm straight, honey. I'm not bisexual. I'm straight. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, I'm straight. Say thank you. Kevin. Oh, thank you, honey. No, $5. Someday I'd like to learn how you made your escape. I will. I might do a video and talk about it, or I might do a little short blog post. But the visualization was a big thing for me, Kevin, in Saudi Arabia, because I was constantly, there's a lot of control of my movement in Saudi Arabia. Growing up, I was constantly locked at home, I was constantly surveilled, and I was constantly locked up in my room. So a lot of the time, what I would do is I would visualize my life in Canada. I engaged in a lot of journaling, and I engaged in a lot of daydreaming, and I engaged in a lot of visualization. And that one of the things that I keep talking about is that I wrote my life when I was 14 years old. I literally wrote this life that I'm living right now. I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I kept it, but I didn't bring it with me when I escaped, when I came to Canada. But that's how I realized that you create your reality vibrationally first, and then you seed it. You seed it into your existence. Your previous reality begins to unfold. Like it folds in within you and it no longer exists, and your new reality begins to manifest. When you seed in, when you begin to visualize and energetically work on what it is you want, your path begins to appear in front of you. So that's what happened with me. My path began to appear in front of me in Saudi Arabia. A lot of people didn't have the opportunities that I had. Miracles literally happened for me as I was. The last obstacle in my way was the SARS epidemic. It hit the week that I was planning to leave. And my father came down the night I was planning to leave and told me, "You're not leaving." Those were the final two obstacles, and I still left. I still got out. So that's another live stream. That's another live stream. But, yeah. You are one of the most beautiful ladies I have ever seen. So you should be happy and never covet. Thank you. Thank you, Lance Johnson. Thank you, honey, for those positive words. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for your energy. I do appreciate it. And thank you for building me up. We are here to build each other up, not to tear each other down. Thank you. I do appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the donations. If there's a topic you'd like me to do the next live stream about, please message me, email me. Follow my Arabian Oracle channel. Find me on Patreon. And I'm very grateful to everyone for your support, for your energy, for your love. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please consider donating to my fundraiser. I love you. Mwah.